Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. Today we're painting up our Eradani Light Horse Hunter Lance. Now we're going to do a quick paint job, try to get these guys painted up in a day. That's the technique I'm going to show you. It actually took me 2 days to do this because I started late in the afternoon of one day. We're going to unbox them, look at the cards, and get to painting. But to start, I primed them Standard Mechanicus Gray, used Games Workshop's Citadel's Elysian Green, then I used their Citadel's Sterling Mud and Nuln Oil, then I used Army Painter's Filthy Cape, Combat Fatigues, Ash Gray, Moon Dust, and Matte White. And at the end, I'll show you how I did like the little thruster plume and everything. Just a quick way to do it. So let's go ahead and get started on these guys. So before I decide what to paint these guys, let's get them out of the box. Slightly damaged and shipping from Barnes & Noble. So that's alright. Good, I got the card pack, so let's get these guys laid out. Some big mechs here. Oh boy. Definitely bulking up. Okay, and there's the jumper. That comes off. And I don't see an alternate base, as in the Kellhounds. Okay. But it's fine right there. Okay. So let's see what colors we have to work with here. I like checking out the Alpha Strike cards. So we got the Sagittaire, the Banshee, got a little clown hat, got the Cyclops, the Thunderbolt. There you go. The alts there. Alright, so let's see. Colleen Moran, and then we'll get another mercenary. Vet General, okay. A different mercenary. I was hoping to get some Davion in here. Thunderbolt, Lieutenant. Mercenary, unit unaffiliated. Then the Banshee with the clown hat. And then Disinherited Banshee. Okay, so it looks like I am going to go for the green camo spec. Where's a good example of it? Like get on these variant sides. Some of the other mercs they have on here, but we'll just stick to this simple. I guess that's drab green or olive green. We'll find something in the paint set. But first we got to get these guys primed up. Now I've primed my models all Standard Mechanicus Gray. I'm going to start by putting on a layer of green, and I'm going to choose Elysian Green from Citadel. Wanted to use Army Painter paint, but I just found the Elysian Green for just work best for the olive drab that I'm going for. So I'm going to take a brush. It used to be a dry brush. Beat to hell. I'm going to put one coat on all these guys. Now I got one coat of the Elysian Green on, and now I'm going to use some Filthy Cape to do a lot of the highlight work. Well, not highlight work, just call it an accent color. So we're going to take the weapon systems here, and we're going to take the fists, I'm just trying to replicate the card art as best we can. So the gray adds some interest to it. So it's just not a solid block. Do some of these actuators here. Now I've got the gray and the green on. We're going to take some sterling mud and texture the base. And for that, I'll just use this little application tool that the Games Workshop site calls a paintbrush. And we just apply it on as thick as we want. Make little swirl marks to get some patterns in the dirt. Helps if I actually show it. Alright, now we're ready to move on to applying the Nola oil. So I'm going to get the same brush I did the green with. I'm going to dip it in my water and then just grab a guy here and start applying a liberal coating of the Nola oil. This will darken down the green. As people decide that this is the best time to text me. This will hug all the little nooks and crannies. Now everything's dried on this, the wash, the base. So now we're going to go back to the Elysian green. We're going to do another dry brush because remember we're trying to, I guess not another, we haven't done a dry brush yet. Okay, let me get some paper towel here and explain what I'm talking about. I'm going to take a brush. It's been beat to heck. It doesn't have a fine point. Used to, but not anymore. So what I'm going to do is dip it into my Elysian green and then rub it around. And then I'm just going to rub it over the green spots. So if I would switch back to a, there we go. This is just to catch some of the edges. I'll just keep going around that in different panels and sprucing them up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm only going to hit the panels on top. So what that means is imagine the light comes down and I'll hit those panels and I'll probably hit the ones that are like would be in direct sunlight more than the ones that would be catching reflected light. And I won't be doing any of this on the bottom of the mech. So like right here it's going to be kind of shaded, so just do a quick one. Well, this panel will probably get a little bit more light, so I'll do a little bit more here. Go like that and that'll give us some depth here. So go around, finish this guy, and alright, now we did some dry brushing with the Elysian green just to give a little depth there. But I want to make some of the lines pop, so I'm going to take some Army Painter Combat Fatigue. Now we're going to do the same thing, just less. So you can see just around the edges of some of the plates here. And you can see how that highlighted it up. So when I'm standing 3 to 4 feet away, you'll see more of the edges. And the combat fatigues, when kind of brushed on, does complement the Elysian green quite well. And once again, we want to stay away from the gray areas because we're going to do something different there. We'll go around and finish these guys up. Shouldn't take too long. Now we're going to take some Army Painter Ash Gray, and I'm going to take a finer brush here get into all the little, just touch and edge highlight some of the stuff that I painted the filthy cape. Like that. Make little light streaks down it. Well, it can be rough. I want a finer brush, just so I can reach into around all the green panels I just painted. I'll just touch some of these gray bits, give it like a little shimmer of light. Now what we can do, we're going to take a big dry brush here, get most of the paint off, and I'm just going to hit some of the top corners there. And see, that lightens it up. Makes it look more like metal reflecting. There we go. I think that's good. You know what, while we're at it, I'm going to go back to my fine brush here. Should have done this before, but you'll see the cockpit armor. The little pilot sees through. We're going to paint that the ash gray. There we go, and now we'll do that to the rest of these guys. Now for the next step, we'll take Army Painter Moon Dust, and this is how we'll finish off the canopy armor for the little mech warrior. Bring just a little bit of paint on here. I'll go through and just put a quick layer. As my dog groans. Yeah, it complements the green just fine. I'll go around to all the armor here. Yes, I said armor, not glass, because canopies are protected by transparent armor, not glass. Now we're going to take some Army Painter Matte White and my extra tiny tip brush. Dip it in the white, wipe it off, and just put thin little streaks of white over the moon dust. Try to enhance the edges. Just thin little lines. Kind of gives it like a little glowing effect. This one was probably not the best one to show off. It's I feel like a little yellow glow. The white, so I'll do something like this. So I'll go down the edge. And for the little corners here, I'd do something like just a little dot. A little too much white going up the edge of the green there. There, scrubbed it off because I got it quick enough. I might go back around and put an extra layer of white to make it stand out even more. There we go. Alright, so we'll finish these up. And normally I call these guys done, but let's work on his plume right there. So I'm going to start back the ash gray. I'll try to do this up real quick. Just pick an area right below. See, put the layers of paint on thicker and thicker as I move up. Now we'll switch to the matte white. I'm not even going to clean out my brush. But when I dipped it in, I'm going to do the paint at this end. So I started the gray and worked this way. I'm going to start with the white, the exhaust ports, and work my way up. See, now didn't clean out my brush, and the gray down here is kind of still wet, so you can see it's mixing with the white. That's what I want. See, look at that, already coming out all aces. Before I put some of the white away, I'm going to go ahead and whoop, hit some of these pretty pieces up here. So really make it pop from far away. Just little touches like that. Alright, then we'll take the yellow and we'll just put some coats right there, and that'll actually be the flame from the exhaust. Alright, well, thank you for joining us at Miniature Wargaming Labs, and we'll see you next time.